Hello, hello. Today we are picking our very first salad from the garden. And it is super windy, so we'll see if my hat stays on. This gorgeous thing, it volunteered itself. I do not believe it's perennial, but it was planted here. And I think I planted this in the fall, and it never did a whole lot. And then it just showed up. Oh my goodness, I have a potato volunteer right here. That's crazy. Potatoes were in this bin last year. I kind of expected that would happen. So because this is already flowered, a couple things could be true. One, the flowers could be good, so we probably should try them. They are. And two, this could be very bitter. It already has a little tang to it, so I'm actually not going to take too much. I was trying to see what the seeds looked like, so I was just kind of letting it go. And it was one of the very first things in the garden, so I thought the pollinators might appreciate having a little bit of it. I'm not huge on spicy greens apart from arugula. I don't like mustard greens. I'm not a fan. However, if you mix it all together, sometimes it's pretty good. So you can see just from this one plant that volunteered itself, I already have a ton of greens. It's a pretty cool thing. Now the other thing we want to do is make a dressing. And so to do that, I'm going to take some of these chives. These chives are clearly ready to be harvested, and we've got a bunch that are going to flower. I'm going to let that happen. Again, it's early food for the bees, which I think is super important. Nothing to overlook. So I'm just grabbing parts that don't have a flower right now. And then once, I'll probably harvest 50% of the flowers, leave 50%. When those flowers are gone, I will chop this entire thing down and it will regrow again. And I'll do that maybe twice, 2 or 3 times during the summer. All right, so we have chives. We can even get some sage for our salad dressing. Why not? Fresh sage already happening. Pretty cool. All right, so not too bad. Now we're gonna go find lettuce. Okay, so the first stop is actually gonna be this orach or orach. Not sure how to pronounce it, spinach. I'm just gonna take some of these lower leaves. I've got 3 or 4 plants here. It is gorgeous. So we're just gonna take the bottoms, and you'll see this is what we'll do for the lettuce. And that means that the plant will just keep growing and producing. Now, I have not done a full garden tour, and that is coming, and I can't wait. Here we go, there's the mint. This is sorrel. So this was planted last year. It's looking a little rough, probably because I have not been harvesting it. This sorrel is a perennial, and I believe that we should start planting as many perennials as possible as far as our food goes. I'm gonna kind of pick a lot of this right now, and there's probably some that aren't looking that great that I could throw to the birds, the chicken, and then we'll just let this kind of come back and start to regrow a little bit nicer. I'll give those to the chicken right here. Okay, so basket is getting fuller. We have succession planted the lettuce, which means that I will pick off of the biggest lettuces first, and the smaller lettuces I will go to soon. So if you remember when I was planting peas, this was supposed to be growing underneath the tunnel of peas. Well, weather has been very crazy, and yeah, the peas have not really taken off yet. So the lettuce, some things have bolted, but for the most part, it's doing well. This is perpetual spinach over here, so we'll grab a few of those leaves. Oh my God, look what I just saw. I just saw baby strawberries. Can you see them? Oh, those strawberries. Okay, that's exciting. So this is perpetual spinach. It's actually a chard. So then we're gonna come over here, and this is red leaf lettuce. Now you could certainly wait for this lettuce to make a head, but why would we do that when we could eat off of this over and over and over again just by picking the outer leaves? So basically, this will be salad all spring long. Usually I end up with more lettuce than I know what to do with. So you can see I'm just taking these outer leaves, and then the inner leaves will grow back. This is my first salad of the year, you guys. This is my first salad. So you see what a difference that made? So this is what they looked like before. This is what they look like now. Sun just came out. And so in a couple of days, these leaves that are tiny here will be all grown up. And then I can do the same thing on any of these that I want. I can take any of these outer leaves and then we have a beautiful salad. Look how full the basket is already. I've barely touched. I mean, I didn't even touch any of this. Okay, we're not done. I'm gonna come down here. We're gonna pick, these are delicious flowers. This is the chimisai. It's getting a little bit eaten by bugs, and it is already starting to bolt. So I don't imagine I'm gonna have this much longer. This is delicious cooked. You can eat it raw. So either way. So I'm gonna be somewhat aggressive on these because I don't think I'm gonna have them much longer, just because it got so hot so fast. I mean, it like turned to summer. We kind of didn't have a spring. We've got this arugula here, and same thing. It's just kind of, it's called cut and come again, where you're just slicing off, pinching off the pieces that you want, and then it will come back, and it'll keep coming back until the weather gets too hot. I believe this was a more heat tolerant version because I have learned my lesson with arugula, but you just don't know. And then we have a huge basket of greens. So this tunnel is where I'll be harvesting all of our first salads of the year. And then this is not a garden tour, but I am going to give you a lettuce tour. I'm going to show you where the next successions are coming from. And again, this really has to do with the weather, and when it gets really hot, lettuce doesn't typically like it. Okay, so imagine this one I should probably harvest from next. This was planted just around the same time. They look great. These lettuces were started indoors. They did not look great, and I put them in the ground and they really came back well. And then this will be another succession of lettuce. This will be another succession of lettuce. These are an experiment. I planted these very far apart. I usually plant lettuce much closer together. So I just wanted to see kind of what was what. These lettuces here, among a lot of weeds and the ferns, if you ever wanted to know why Sweet Fern Farm, there's your ferns. I do often pluck them out when they start to take over the food, but for now they can stay. So these little baby lettuces here, those are a mixed green packet, and these are weeds. And the weeds are doing a really good job this year at making themselves known really early on. Okay, so this is another succession here. And then if we come over here past the fava beans, I can't wait to show you everything, you guys. You can see another little area where I have just thrown down mixed mesclun greens, and those should be ready actually fairly soon, and those are eaten as baby greens. So we'll eat those. We'll just pluck the leaves off exactly the same way as I showed you for these. And then this is arugula. I don't know if that's going to take off. Again, it's so hot. Now inside here you can see there's a leaf pressing up. I have some big beautiful vegetables in here, and I have not taken this cover off to actually look at them, but I know that there's kale in there, but I'm not going to pick any today. I'm actually just going to go over here to this little spare kale patch, and I'm just going to take just some baby kales just to mix in, add a little more nutrition. We'll just throw those in. And I think, oh, I know what we're gonna go get. We're gonna go get the first radishes of the year. Let's go get them. That's a weed. That, my friends, is a French breakfast radish. That will be our first radish of the year. Let's get a couple more. Oh, that's a good one. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I succession plant radishes in my garlic, and it works incredibly well. It helps suppress the weeds among the garlic. This will be the first bed that we work off of. Then you can see under there, hiding under the garlic, which is looking like the most beautiful garlic I've ever grown. And then looks like these actually will be the next succession here. And then these were finally planted after. Not a great germination rate on those, so I'll probably come in and do one more succession planting in all of the gaps. Now the peas, I know this is not a garden tour, but I'm talking anyway. The peas, oh my gosh, they just didn't come up. This entire fence was supposed to be filled with my shelling peas. Germination rate was horrible. The ones that did come up just aren't doing anything. The weather has been so weird.